Hello guys, my name is Sparkfinger and today is a great day to check out the new and updated FAQ, frequently asked questions for NovelAI. It was just updated and it's here on Reddit and on their wiki page. Let's take a read through it. Table of contents, yes, general and everything else, scroll down. Reminder, this FAQ is about project still in active development, that means everything is going to change or might change. General status of the project. NovelAI is currently preparing for open beta. Users will be able to access beta through a subscription to the NovelAI service. When will NovelAI be fully released? No time frame for a full release has been set yet. Please refer to our social channels for any updates. That will be in the description. What are your goals for NovelAI? What are you hoping to achieve? NovelAI seeks to become a quality AI storyteller, like AIDungeon provider to our users, allowing them to use the power of an AI trained on quality novels and content to generate stories that they could never think on their own. Well, that's a little bit insulting, but okay. Okay, it's really funny, but yeah, novels, since I don't read novels too often, last time I read Mario Puzo, yeah, Fools, that's a great novel, but, you know, back in the day it wasn't considered that high class of literature. Yeah, would probably not be able to generate anything novel-related myself. Let's keep reading. Can we expect features like world info, remember, and author's note? Features like author's note and memory are already implemented. During the beta, we plan to implement a world info-esque feature, lore book. Well, not the most successful phrasing here, world info-esque. The lore book is planned to help the AI memorize specific elements, such as characters, locations, and themes. There is currently no estimated time frame for this, which is of course a little disappointing. We will make sure to explain this further as we build it out. I hope it will be available as soon as possible. World info, I love world info way too much. And I like the name lore book a lot. I hope it can be more than world info that we had before. Yeah, and also AIDungeon was supposed to have another update called the Universes update. Maybe I'll make a video on that. It's like world info, but even more than that. Like a literary universe, you know. Like Ancient Myths, or Fallout, or Elder Scrolls. Basically, I already made a video about that. Where are my stories hosted, and can NovelAI staff read them? Stories are by default only stored locally on your device, with an option of hosting them on our service. Both places are fully encrypted. Only you and the people you choose to share them with have access to them. We will not be able to view your stories. Please see our blog post under encryption for more information here. Yeah, I already made a video about this, and I'll put a link here as well. Can I import my stories from AIDungeon? You will be able to import formats from popular AIDungeon exporters like AidCat. Very interesting. I'm still surprised that they allow this. It's a great idea, but low-key, I just didn't expect them. Okay. Can I export my stories from NovelAI? Yes, NovelAI currently supports JSON file exports. Plain text export is planned, with the possibility of PDF further down the road. Great, I love my PDFs. Will there be a NovelAI multiplayer options? Multiplayer is considered for the future, but not planned for development at this time. You know, you actually could do a multiplayer if you have a person with you in the room. You share a keyboard and occasionally switch places. That would be hilarious, right? Maybe I wish I had someone to make a video like this with. Is there a limit to how many stories I can make? There is no limit on how many stories you can create. Is there a limit to how many actions I can take? There is no limit on the number of actions you can take. However, using lots of actions will result in your priority decreasing, leading to slower generations. You may keep maximum priority by subscribing to the Opus tier. You can read up on the subscription tiers and priority system on our blog post here, and I also made a video about this already. Will I use do say story with this service as well? NovelAI does not feature a do or say system like AIDungeon. You will need to manually write out your own actions instead. There are no constraints from the CYOA format. You can use any verb you like to speak, do, examine, and many other things. Well, that is of course a sad thing, because in AIDungeon do and say are actually a very special feature, because the AI will react to it differently. Which I'm afraid makes AI more of a game kind of project rather than just a writing assistant. But still, one day maybe they'll implement something unusual. I mean, back in the day, AIDungeon didn't have a lot of game elements. It was just a text generator as well. And then they started adding all the fun, challenging game elements. And one day maybe NovelAI will do the same. NovelAI is really striving towards the whole novel literature aesthetic, and I really respect that. It's great. It's great that someone dares to be like that in these trying times. Will NovelAI support user scripts? We encourage scripting to help develop new ways to use NovelAI. A scripting API is currently in the works. It's not there yet, it's not going to be out in beta, but it's also not going to be a premium subscription thing, like in AIDungeon. But wait a second, actually, everything is premium subscription NovelAI. So, yeah, I'm hyped for the scripts. I'm not going to be able to make any myself, well, I'm not planning to. I could try to learn, but I hope great people like Varkarus will be able to come up with some curious gameplay enhancing scripts right out the gate when they come up with this. So we can have games that are a bit more than just you writing your story with the assistants. So we can have more actual game elements in NovelAI. Will I be able to share my content with other users? Stories can be shared between users by easily exporting them with one button. This includes all the redo trees, memory, logbook, and author's notes. We are also considering allowing people to share their stories through a link and a key. As for an Explore tab on the site, it is planned. Although this will not be a normal built-in Explore feature, you will have a text field inside our app where you can enter a link to a story repository and it will pull all the stories from there. Well, arguably it is a great idea to not have an Explore tab. That means it's not going to be trolled and no one is going to post, shocking stuff in there. Basically, you're going to have to work hard to find some stories. You're going to have to go around and ask people for their stories, or maybe people will develop a habit of, let's say, posting their stories on Reddit, because you can post large text on Reddit, and that could be cool, right? Will there be a NovelAI phone application? A NovelAI app release for the iOS app and or Google Play Store is planned for the future. There are, however, no time estimates for it at the moment. In the meantime, you can already access NovelAI through your mobile web browser, which is, frankly, a better way to do it, in my humblest of opinions. The NovelAI website is also available as a progressive web application, which you can download from the site itself through your mobile browser. So yeah, there is also an alternative thing that is basically like a browser, but it's a bit more comfortable for the mobile users. I really don't like apps on mobile phones, because why would I have an app if I can just have one browser? Why would I? Oh my god. Well, let's go further. Will NovelAI have a free-to-use version? There are currently no plans for a free version of NovelAI at this time. Maybe in the distant future there will be a free-to-use version. In the distant future, when they finally manage to attract investors. And that, I'm afraid, might create some problems too. How much will it cost to use NovelAI? NovelAI will be using a monthly subscription model. There are currently 3 tiers. Subscription tiers: Tablet, $10 a month, Scroll, $15 a month, Opus, $25 a month. Read more about the subscription models here, and we made a video about this as well. What is the difference between the tiers? Tablet tier: 1024 token context length, 1000 max priority actions a week, normal priority. Scroll tier: 2048 token context length, which means it's very long, which means the AI will be able to remember a very long text and have a great context, so you might not even need to use the remember tab as much. 1000 max priority actions a week, which means that will be as fast as possible. Normal priority. And Opus tier is a maximum God tier, 2048 token context length, unlimited priority actions, experimental feature. So yeah. So if you really want to test, you might have to choose an Opus tier if you want to get access to all the new features right away. Which is something I might have to do, but not right away, no. For me, I'll obviously go for the tablet tier, because that's what most of us will do. We're trying something new, we'll pay the least amount of money that we can, and we will try it out that way. What are the payment methods for subscribing? Are they private and secure? We use Paddle as our payment processor. As long as your payment method is supported by Paddle, we can accept your payment. We plan to expand our payment options, which will be detailed as more information becomes available. What are priority actions and priority? We already covered this in this video, but let's go over this as well. Max priority actions have a priority level of 10. Once they run out, your priority level will decrease every 100 actions until it reaches 0, and at 0 it will be very slow. You can still send and receive text, but you will have to wait longer than anyone with a higher priority level. At the end of a 7-day period, after the first day of your subscription, your priority level is set back to 10, and your amount of max priority actions are set back to 1000. Frankly, I see it as okay, because, first of all, I almost never run out of energy in AIDungeon myself, and even when I normally play, I sometimes just occasionally check on it every 5 minutes and then write one or two actions and see how the game generates, how the game reacts. Yeah, let's keep reading. How does the priority system works? You can find out more priority information on our blog post here. Yeah, and I made a video about that too. Is NovelAI hosting service or just an interface application? We host our own API with our fine-tuned models running on machines from a variety of GPU providers. What are the required computer specifications for running NovelAI? Any computer or mobile device with an updated browser can run NovelAI as long as you have a stable internet connection. What is the difference between training and fine-tuning? Think of training as building a factory. Fine-tuning is giving that factory the tools to create something specific to your needs. Very interesting. I never thought of it this way. Fine-tuning. NovelAI is supposed to have really advanced fine-tuning. It should really be able to create a really immersive novel-like, literature-like experience. I can't express how much I'm hyped for this. How do I make my own custom fine-tuned model? Can I run my own customized fine-tuned model through NovelAI? We promote community efforts to improve our fine-tuned data and include it as part of our service. But individual users will not be able to run personal fine-tunes locally. Interesting. Writing in perspective. Which literary perspective will the AI use? First, second, or third person? First, as in I do something, I push the chair, I grab the bucket. Second, you do this, so the game will be telling you that you are doing something. Third, he does something. Or Johnny picks up a barrel and throws it. Our first model will be primarily fine-tuned on novels and light novels, which means it should be more proficient at third-person and first-person perspective. Which, of course, for me is not going to be as immersive, but I'm still looking forward to it because it's going to be a new experience. I love it when the game itself tells me what I do, what I'm doing. You grab bucket and lift it over your head. The bucket weighs 1,000 tons. You're the strongest champion in the world. That's what I like to hear. First and third person, I love that too. I'm really curious about that at least. Which works will be used to train the AI? We have a very talented team of community members that have been collecting and cleaning fine-tuning data from a variety of works. We plan on using a collection of over 5.4 gigabytes, or gigabytes as Doc Brown would put it, of training data for this. Can I suggest books, fanfics, other text media to be added to the training material? We encourage you to discuss which content you'd like to see included in the training material. Suggestions will be considered by the fine-tune team on a case-by-case basis, as we want to maintain a high-quality dataset for our model. Please feel free to contribute to the collection and cleaning of the fine-tuning dataset. Visit the #dataset collection fine-tune channel on Discord for more information if you wish to continue. And yeah, Discord link in the description. There are, however, no guarantees as to what will be included in the fine-tuning data. I love this paragraph because it's a perfect example of appealing to the community. You're appealing to the community, you're telling them exactly what they want to hear, but you're also expressing your own point of view. You're telling them, we will do this, but not that. But I hope you will be happy with this, okay? This guy who wrote this had 10 out of 10 speech. Let's keep reading. Can I make the AI focus on a specific author style or a specific genre? We will be implementing features that facilitate steering the AI in the direction you want, but we cannot guarantee that the AI will always do what you want it to. In general, the AI is reliant on user input and story setup. The more effort you put into your writing, the better the AI outputs will be. Well, frankly, that's the same with AIDungeon. The more eloquent you are, the less likely you are to get silly outputs. And well, AIDungeon requires a lot more than that, of course, but let's keep reading. Can I use more than one model at the same time or switch between them on the fly? We plan to start our release with one uniquely fine-tuned model, Calliope. A model expansion is under consideration. So yeah, Calliope is their version of Griffin, or rather Classic, their first ever version of their AI, and I hope to see that one day we'll get more different models. Maybe one day NovelAI will have their own dragon. Will it be possible for me to insert images as inlines to my text? A feature like this is under consideration, but we do not plan to provide image hosting on our service. Well, I wonder if you could embed pictures like, from Wikipedia or someplace. Just put in an embed code. I mean, if you want to do this, you can just create a Word file for yourself. Will I be able to customize the interface, such as colors, fonts, etc.? Yes, custom themes have already been implemented. You can choose from a variety of color schemes or pick your own colors. Yeah. We also provide a selection of fonts. So yeah, you won't be able to upload your own font, but there is going to be a selection of different fonts. What about accessibility, text-to-speech, dyslexic fonts or font use? Accessibility is on our list of concerns. We like to offer an experience that everyone can enjoy. Dyslexic fonts, colorblind themes, and font sizing are already under consideration. Text-to-speech is a capability we are working on, or you can just use a browser extension. How does the AI handle copyright? Will the generated content be copyrighted in some way? We do not claim any of the material you create with NovelAI. Your content is yours to the fullest, considered copyrighted to the fullest extent of applicable law. However, it is possible for the AI to generate content that could be considered copyrighted material. If you intend on publicly sharing or commercializing whatever content you produce, please review your content. It is your own responsibility to ensure it does not infringe on any copyrighted material. So there is a chance it might just rip out certain paragraphs from the books that's been trained on. Oh yeah, these two asterisks refer to this particular paragraph. Okay. AI-related questions. Why is NovelAI using GPT-Neo instead of GPT-3? GPT-Neo is an open-source alternative to OpenAI's GPT models, such as GPT-3. This gives us the opportunity to experiment on the model and improve it over time, allowing us to add new features as we research more. Will the fine-tuned data be updated after the public release? Will it receive updates and improvements? Yes. Can I control the AI's individual settings? NovelAI offers settings that you can use to affect the AI's output, including all default settings from the HF Transformers codebase, along with supplementary ones such as tail free sampling. You need intelligence 8 out of 10 to understand this, I don't. Can the AI handle this very specific sequence or word topics properly? The AI will try to interpret the best of its ability, but you may need to curate, refine and edit the AI's output yourself. The AI ability to predict or work with certain topics accurately will depend on what it has been trained fine-tuned with. So, no guarantees can be made. What are the limitations of the AI in terms of memory or volume of text? The length of the text in itself is not limited, but your context window is limited by your subscription tier and the limits of the AI code base. Do you plan on releasing your fine-tuned data to the public? We do not plan to release our fine-tuned model to the public. Oh yeah, and finally important part. Not safe for work content. Can I provide not safe for work content to train the AI in that domain? We have no bias against not safe for work in our training data. Feel free to discuss and suggest content as long as our fine-tuning team deems it's acceptable to include it in the dataset. Once again, a perfectly constructed paragraph. Everyone is happy, but they still get to do what they want. If my story contains contentious, not safe for work material, will my service be denied? No, your service will not be denied for not safe for work material. What if I publish not safe for work material? How will that work? You, whether a legal or a physical entity, retain all rights and ownership of your content. We do not claim any ownership rights to your content unless you specifically reach an agreement with NovelAI to forfeit or transfer your ownership to your content. Oh yeah, and that has been it, the FAQ. I'll include a link in the description. And now for the bonus feature, let's take a look at some of the forgotten stories that alpha users managed to generate in the past. There we go, let's read some of these stories. Okay. Characters. Ranke, nobleman, author and wallflower. Felicitas, young woman, thief and all-around scoundrel. Act 1, Scene 1, Port City in the harbor. Ranke stands before a stack of crates and is inspecting a manifest. Felicitas attempts to approach him but is caught. Ranke. Ha, I have felt the approach before thou even shoved thine face. Felicitas, and thou shouldst not. I have business with someone on this ship. Thou hast my apologies. Ranke. Well, if thou insist, but I would like thee to see that your gait is most unfriendly. Felicitas. Gait, you say, and who was it that invited thee on this quay looking most gaudy? I am just curious, just to hear thy thoughts of me. Felicitas. And what if I do? What might they be? Ranke. That's what makes it so amusing. The question is, what does thy answer lead to? Oh yeah, very realistic conversation when you meet a girl for the first time. You catch her by the hand when she tries to steal your money. Oh yeah, sorry, that's a bad joke. Let's move on. Yeah, let's read this poem. 7 bamboo stalks cut perfectly across, all grow the same height. Forest whose flat head, unable to hide the crest of the tallest bird, can serve perfectly to hide the smallest of worms, hard pressed to be plucked. Stalks and foliage went to make a perfect world, air and soil connect. When you dig down deep, you can find the tiny worm hide in the crevices. All its height and size, yet the forest has a scar in its green body. But scars can be healed if you give the earth the time to heal its children. When you dig down deep, by the time you found a worm, the scar will be gone. 7 earthen worms, cut perfectly across, all grow the same height. Yeah, curious little poem. What might it mean? It's for you to find out, for you to introspectively look into your own mind and see what you can generate yourself. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 1 of Jermacraft, the series where I play Minecraft. This is going to be a single-player Let's Play, and when I say Let's Play, I use the term pretty loosely, because I'm an idiot in this game. You're gonna see lots of fails, you're gonna see lots of triumphs, at least I'm hoping, so go grab yourself a nice hot cup of coffee, just like I do now. Hot cup of cocoa, I got apple cider right here, freshly brewed. Let me take a sip. Ah, that's some good cider. I think it might even go well with the coffee I brewed this morning. I should probably tell you, the game is going to be called Jarmacraft, so don't ask me why I called it Jarmacraft for the title. It's actually called Jarmacraft, so there. But anyway, I should tell you what the world looks like, because that's the main character in Jarmacraft, the protagonist. I'll try not to get too deep or anything. Jarmacraft is a little under the radar. You might remember that in the last episode I told you about my little brother, who was a famous chef. In that episode 1 I also told you about him being the first human in history to have a pet parrot. Anyway, this guy's name is Jimmy the chef. This is my brother, that's him, and he's one of the protagonists in the game. He has a chef-trained friend called Big Jim. Big Jim is a large man. He's kind, generous, kind person. He's the kind of person that other people would look at and think, oh, he's a real stand-up guy, but he doesn't judge people. He's just always helping people. In Jarmacraft, he has a parrot named Rafiki. Oh yeah, this is kind of funny. This is a very typical tangent that someone like me might go on when they're trying to make content. So yeah, it's not really about Minecraft. Funny stuff, and big thanks to all the alpha users that posted this in Discord. Oh yeah, this is the one. A person in NovelAI Discord already made a meme out of this, but I really wanted to read it myself because I had it saved in one of my folders. There's already a meme about Grug and Grug style, you know, telling of a story, because Grug is like a prehistoric man. Caveman is technically an incorrect term because people didn't actually live in caves, you know. It's just that bodies were perfectly preserved in caves. In reality, people lived outside of caves and didn't even sleep in the caves most of the time. A curious little historical fact for you. Anthropological fact, if you will. Okay, let's get into the mind of Grug. Grug see big bright light in sky. Warm, tweet tweet is loud. Grug take clap and walk to big wood. Grug smack tree and monkey fall out. Grug hungry. Monkey loud. Grug look at monkey and monkey run away. Stupid idiot monkey. Grug look at blue sky and remember. Big deer and forest. Grug look at big green forest. Grug walk and go find deer. Deer big and tasty. Cook on roaring big fire. Grug run fast in forest and icky monkey come with big green leaves. Eat. Grug fall asleep in dream world. Rugged big black bear. Grug fight. Bear lose. Grug said, bad dream. Bear die. Rugged bear come. Grug find bear with big black eyes and smell of musk. Grug fight with bear. Oh yeah. I kind of went into a barbarian mode right there rather than a caveman, but that's okay, because we're not too far apart, right? Well, I hope you enjoyed this episode of NovelAI FAQ plus my second feature, me reading the remaining facts. I mean, the remaining forgotten stories from the alpha test. So, until next time, see you guys. Bye for now.